Welcome back to Pink Turtle Soaps. Today's soap, actually tonight's soap, it's like 9:30 at night. I'm making a strawberry cheesecake soap, and I'm actually going to do my best to make this look as close to a real strawberry cheesecake as possible. I have my oils melted down and ready to go, and my live water is also cooled down. They're both at about 85 degrees. I'm going to pour my live water in slowly. And we're going to blend this together. Alright, now that that's finished, I'm going to set my stick blender off to the side. Next, I'm going to pour off a little bit into 2 smaller cups. And I'm making a mess. I'm pouring about 16 ounces in each of these smaller containers. Go ahead and get my molds ready. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to color this smaller container a light shade of brown. And that's actually going to represent the graham cracker crust at the bottom of a cheesecake. Alright, here is our soap. I've actually already blended in the fragrance oil as well. And I'm going to try to equally pour into both sides. The goal is for this to thicken up while I fix the rest of the soap, so that when we go to pour it on top, it's not going to move, but fingers crossed. In this larger container, I'm going to color it with a little bit of titanium dioxide just to help lighten it up a little bit, and I will add the appropriate amount of fragrance oil, and I will go ahead and skip to the next step of pouring. Alright, so I've actually poured some of it off into a smaller container so that it's a little bit more, a little easier to control. And I've tried to get it as close to a cheesecake color, but we'll see how it turns out. And I'm thinking that this layer is going to be firm enough, but just in case, I'm going to use a spatula to kind of break the fall. Okay, it looks like that bottom layer wasn't quite set up enough, but I think it'll still look good being swirled in the middle. We're just winging it at this point. Okay, I'm going to pour this nearly all the way to the top of each mold because I'm going to add a red drop swirl. And I want to make sure that I leave enough room for that. Here's our red, and I've already added the fragrance oil in. So I'm going to add this right down the middle, and that's supposed to represent like a, not cherry, strawberry drizzle inside the cheesecake. I'm going to finish it off with more cheesecake batter. I think that's going to look really cool. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking about it, and that bottom layer that was supposed to look like a graham cracker crust, you know, it didn't really hold up under the weight. It didn't set up as fast as I, thought it would. But at least this way it might look like chunks of graham cracker inside the cheesecake, maybe. I don't think it'll look too bad. So now I'm going to shimmy them down a little bit, make sure that it gets all in the corners. And I'm going to move these off, and I'm going to start working on the piping, and we will come back when it's time to put the piping on top. Okay, real quick, I wanted to show you what I did to the piping before we get started. It's actually something I've never seen done before. My idea was to make the piping look as close to strawberry icing as possible, like homemade strawberry icing or topping. So what I did is, in this little cup, I basically chopped up red melt and pour that I made, and I got it as small as I possibly could, like by hand with a knife. And what I did is I added it to my soap base. I added those strawberry bits, that's what they're supposed to be. And when I added it to the soap, I used the stick blender, which then, you know, chopped these up even smaller, so it's supposed to look like little bitty bits of strawberry inside the piping. Alright, the piping's all done. Considering that it has all these little red bits on the inside, I'm not going to put any kind of embed on the outside, but I am going to spray it down with a shimmery silver mica, just to, you know, bring out the definition in the ripples of the piping. Now that the silver mica has been dusted on the top, which looks really good in person, I'm going to spray it down with rubbing alcohol, and that's just going to help seal in everything. And I'm going to let it set overnight, and probably about 24 hours we will come back and cut it up, and I'm really nervous and excited to see how the inside turned out. So as you can see in that photo, I couldn't help myself. I was staring at a cup full of leftover chunks, and the more I looked at this soap, I thought, you know, it just needed a little bit of red on top. It has been about 24 hours and it's ready to cut. There it is. You can see some of that brown that was supposed to be just the graham cracker layer kind of broke up, and it's spotted throughout the soap. Let's go ahead and cut up this loaf. See what we got. you would like to grab yourself a bar, these will be available at pinkturtlesoaps.com July 1st at 8 a.m. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.